Good evening, everybody. I can hear you echoing, Jake.
Yeah, I can hear you too.
All right. Well, good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday, November 8th. I hope everyone had a chance to go out and vote because even though you may not think so, every vote counts, and yours definitely does as well. Tonight, we're doing a recap show. We are starting a new weekly schedule. So, tonight on Tuesdays, for the time being and going forward, will be our recap show from the weekend before. And then Wednesdays now will be an Ohio State Michigan episode with maybe all of us. I'm not sure if Jake's going to hop in for the Ohio State Michigan episode. And then Fridays will be NFL preview show where we'll be previewing all the football games, all the NFL games for the weekend. Saturday mornings now will be our college football preview show where I will be dropping my betting locks of the week because I know a lot of people ask for them. So I'll be doing that on Saturday mornings. So make sure you tune in and listen. Then Sunday mornings now will be NFL fantasy football episode, doing some of your stardoms and situms for the week, kind of just talking about fantasy outlooks. And I'll also be dropping some betting during that episode as well. The Sunday episode is going to be more so we can kind of interact with our guests if they have any questions about who they should start and such and those kind of things. Different types of formats: PPR, half PPR, no PPR, standard scoring, and so on. So that's kind of what we'll do for you guys there. Before we get into the show, I'm with Jake tonight. Jake, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, doing good. I'm just excited to, talk, sitting and talking about sports. But just made some dinner, eating some quality food, and then other than that, just getting ready to watch some football tonight. There's some action.
Oh, action, baby. Let's fucking go.
I'm pretty sure
Hey,
Toledo's.
what do you got? Yep, Toledo's on at 8 p.m., baby. 8 p.m.
But
Rockets.
isn't the college football show about to start right now? Oh yeah, they're showing the committee right now.
Are they right now? Yeah, I can't. TV's behind me, so I can't turn it on. But all right, let's
I'll give you live updates as the show's on.
Perfect. I'm sure it'll piss me off at some point, so I'm good with that. But recap show. We're gonna be talking about the past weekend. Obviously, as we all know, Tennessee lost, number one team in the country. Clemson lost, and Bama has suffered its second loss. So 3 of the top 6 teams in the country went down this past weekend. So the rankings tonight will be very, very interesting, to say the least. All right, let's first off, let's talk about Ohio State Northwestern real quick. Jake, anything you have to say about that game at all before I kind of chat a little bit about it?
Not much. I know a lot of Ohio State fans / the rest of the college football was looking at it as not a good one for Ohio State. I think the weather had a lot to do with that. Rain's not good for anyone, especially a team like Ohio State where they're big on explosive pass plays. But yeah, I think it was just on the road at Northwestern, bad weather, and that had a lot to do with it. But Ohio State's still really good.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you can look too much into this game at all.
No.
Ohio State's a passing team. What do you expect when they're playing on 40-mile-per-hour winds? That's like saying a running team, tell them to go try to run the football on a sheet of ice. It's just nothing's going to work in those kind of conditions. But so a lot of outside or anti-Ohio State people were saying, "Oh, well, Northwestern ran all over your defense, and Ohio State can't run the ball." Well, Ohio State ended up with 207 yards rushing. Northwestern ended up with 206. So those things can't be true. Obviously, Ohio State does have to run the ball a little bit better. And Northwestern ran the ball over 50 times, 60 times. So, of course, they're going to get some rushing yards. So they only average like 3-point-some yards a carry. But if you run the ball every play, obviously you're going to get up over 200 yards. So, like I said, I'm not going to think – Ohio State keeps winning. That's all I have to do. Doesn't matter what it looks like. As long as they have a 0 in the loss column, they'll be there at the end. Michigan struggled first half against Rutgers, and they came out and absolutely dominated. Do we take anything away from this game, or do we wait to talk about Ohio State and Michigan when the week comes?
It's definitely going to be those two teams when that week comes, but I think it proves that Michigan They wear you down. They're an NFL style. They wear you down. Third quarter, fourth quarter starts to show. Um, and I think like I was watching a little bit of that game. It's just different. Whenever something breaks down, you just think that JJ's able to get out of it, get out of the jam. So I think Michigan's really good. As long as they're able to run the football, they're going to be tough to beat. Anyone or anyone's going to have a tough time to beat them.
Is there any concern with Blake Corum wearing down with the way they use him?
There might be, but I think they're going to start using Edwards a little bit more.
Yeah, I think Edwards is a stud too, so they should start using him more.
Well,
I want to see a passing game of some sort.
Well, why there's no need to change it up? Why not save it until you need it?
If you never do it, Jake, you've done a lot of sports in your life and competed. You know, if you never do something and then you expect to do it in the biggest situation, it's not as easy as you think it should be.
But like, what if it's like more than that? What if it's the whole team's bought into their, like, they don't need to adjust? Like, it's kind of our philosophy in basketball in high school. We don't adjust for other teams adjust for us. Like, they're set to run the football. They're going to run the football. They're going to do their play action passes, and that's how they're going to beat you. And they think that their style of football and what the players they have to run their style of football can beat any team in college football. I just think that's their mindset. There's no reason. Like, they recruited their team for a specific reason, and it's working. The last year and a half, 2 years, it's worked.
It has worked against the teams that aren't as talented as them. But I don't think that type of play style can get them over the top when it matters, unfortunately.
I can agree with you after this year. We'll see. I think having that, they haven't been in a style or the game against Georgia last year. That was their first time playing in a game like that in a long time. Now they got that under the belt. So if they can get back to that spot, I think it's going to be different. Different quarterback.
We'll see. I gotta see something. I gotta see it before I can believe it. That's why I want to see them do it against the teams that are lesser. They can't even do it against.
Notre Dame's 20.
That's about right.
Texas is 18.
But yeah, I just don't think if you can't do it against a team like Rutgers or Iowa or something like that, then I don't know. You can do it against when it matters. I don't know. But we'll see.
Tulane's 17.
I don't care about the back half. I want to know what the top 6 are when it gets to there.
Okay.
Because those teams at the bottom are just thrown in basically wherever. All right, let's talk about the Tennessee-Georgia game. Does this say more about Tennessee or does it say more about Georgia? So for me personally, I think Georgia, because Tennessee at some point was going to, with the schedule they've had playing Alabama and playing LSU and so on, they're gonna have a hiccup eventually, and then this is their first really road test. Just think it was a tough game for them. Georgia, for some reason this year, is playing to the level of its competition. When they play good teams, they fucking dominate. When they play bad teams, they play down and act like they don't even care to be there. So I guess that can work. I think Georgia's really good. I think they should be number 1 tonight. I think they're a really good football team. I would like to see. I don't know. I just think Georgia's probably the most well-rounded team right now. I think they're just I don't see any weaknesses with them. Their quarterback's kind of a weakness, but he's a baller, though. He just wins football games. He's a baller. What do you have to say about it?
I think, Georgia's really good. I think Tennessee struggled. The environment. They got down early. But, Georgia's probably the best all-around team in the country. Just because of the 2 times they played good teams in, big games, they dominated both of those games. So I would have to say Georgia's probably the best team. And Tennessee's still really good. They just that was their bad game. And Georgia just dominated from the beginning. But other than that, I'm just very excited to see what's about to happen. See if my TV just froze. What's going
But
on?
all right. Well, Clemson and Alabama both lost this weekend.
Yeah.
Notre Dame dominated Clemson, and LSU. Alabama. Who is this a bigger win for? Is this a bigger win for Notre Dame, or is it a bigger win for Brian Kelly in his first year at LSU?
Sure. I have a question. What was the rankings last week? Where was Alabama at?
6.
There's 6. What was Clemson ranked?
4.
All right. Well, Clemson's now ranked 10. Alabama's ranked 9. And that's the only two. That's the only two they have for the top 10.
That's so fucking dumb. We'll talk about this in a second. Go ahead. Keep. Okay. Go and talk about who's the bigger win. Who had a bigger win? First year coach Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame, or first year coach Brian Kelly beating Alabama? Who had the bigger win?
That's tough to say. I would say the bigger winner on the season is probably LSU and Brian Kelly because they beat Alabama. But I would say for a person, Marcus Freeman, because I think that's really big for him. Because he's 1-5 now in ranked games, or 1-4.
Is he?
That's his first time he's winning a ranked game. His first game was a bowl game. He lost that.
Syracuse last week.
Also, that's the second one. But yeah, I think that's a bigger one for him because a lot of people expected, or not expected, but with the atmosphere in the LSU Alabama, you never know. It's the same thing as Ohio State Alabama. You never know who's going to win that game. It's just you never know. But I think for the reputation, Marcus Freeman needed that win. Yeah, I hate Brian Kelly.
So speaking about Brian Kelly, is he just a good football coach? Do we not give this man the credit and respect that he deserves? Because he always got Notre Dame to the big games, but they never had the talent to get over the top in those games, right? And the first time that he plays against Alabama with the talent at somewhat of the level of Alabama with LSU, beats Nick Saban the first time he plays them there. Should we just I think we should give this man some more respect. I think he's a good ball coach.
Yeah, he's an awful dancer.
He's a twat bag. He's a tool, but doesn't mean you can't be a good football coach. A really good football coach. Okay, well, let's talk about the Heisman again. So obviously the top dogs didn't have a great weekend. Blake Corum made up some ground. I think C.J. Stroud and the odds passed Hendon Hooker.
Okay.
Those two are
still the clear favorites, but Corum did make up some ground. Any thoughts? Do you think that should be different at all? Do you see somebody else besides those three that has a chance at this point, or if they have a couple good games could make it a closer battle, or do you think it's just those three now to the end?
I think it's definitely those three to the end. Only one dark horse is at quarterback from I don't know. He had 10 touchdowns this weekend.
SMU?
Yep, that's my guy. That's a dark horse.
I mean, I guess you could call him a dark horse, but
you're telling me the next 3 to 4 weeks, if he has 9 to 10 touchdowns each game, that doesn't push him. That you can't say it's not going to happen. He literally just did it. I'm just saying, if it does, what could he be in the running? 40 touchdowns in 4 weeks.
Games.
40 touchdowns in 4 weeks.
No, he won't. He still won't win the Heisman.
Come on, dude. 40 touchdowns.
No, there's no way. Don't tell me anything yet. We'll talk about it in a second. Okay, so as of right now, who you taking? Who are you predicting to win the Heisman? Not as we sit right now, but who do you see based off your predictions for the rest of the year? Who will be holding the Heisman Trophy?
Blake Corum. Michigan's gonna win the game.
Yeah, I don't think Blake Corum's gonna win the Heisman. I think it's going to be Hendon Hooker. Because I don't know if they have a great schedule coming up, and I think he's just going to start torching teams the last 3 games. I'll take Hendon Hooker as my Heisman. Okay, but no more Heisman talk. Before we get into our conference champion predictions, tell me the top 6.
I only know the top 4 right now, top 5 right now. Give me 2 minutes and I'll give you the top 7. The bottom 3 of the top 10 is Clemson, Alabama, USC.
Clemson, Alabama, USC is 8.
Yep. So 10, 9, 8. Which I don't understand. How does Alabama go in front of Clemson? They both lost, and Alabama was behind Clemson last week. 6 spots behind them, or what? 2?
2 spots.
But still, how did they go in front of them?
I mean, Clemson got dominated, I guess.
But
So-
still, it still makes sense to me. Did USC win?
You're the Alabama lover, dude.
No, I'm the SEC lover.
I don't think that makes it any fucking better. All right. Well, while we're waiting, let's do some conference championship predictions. Start with the Big 12. Let's give me the winner of who you think it's going to be and who they're going to be beating in the conference championship.
Doesn't matter. Do they have size there?
Yeah, I can tell you in a second.
Well, it's definitely going
The
to be
Big 12
TCU.
the Big 12 doesn't have this top 2 teams.
Okay, well, it's definitely going to be TCU. And I'd probably have to say, what? It's not Oklahoma State, is it?
Right now, we got Texas number 2, Baylor number 3,
Oh, yeah.
Kansas
It's-
State
it's
number
gonna be- it's
4.
gonna
and
be-
those
It's going to be Texas
Oh.
versus TCU. It's going to
TCU's
come out
going to
of
win.
TCU's going to win.
They play this week.
Yeah, I think.
I'll take TCU over Baylor is my prediction.
I like that.
So TCU has to play both of those teams still, Texas and Baylor.
Okay,
Like,
do
they
you
have
want
a
the top?
tough-ass
Do you want the other 7?
Yep, give me the top 4. I bet you. Let me try to guess it without looking
Okay.
at it. Okay. I'm gonna say it's Georgia at 1, Ohio State at 2,
Okay.
Michigan at 3, TCU at 4.
Yep.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
And then 5 will be Oregon, LSU. Tennessee's 5.
Tennessee,
Then it's probably Oregon,
Oregon, LSU,
LSU.
USC, Alabama, Clemson.
I can respect those rankings for sure. I can't believe Oregon's all the way back up to number 6. That's crazy. So Georgia beat number 5 and number 6 by a combined, 60 points. But all right, let's get back to our Big 12. So both of us have TCU winning the Big 12, and I have them over Baylor. You have them over Texas. Let's move out west to the Pac-12. So the Pac-12 is the same way. The top 2 teams in the league just play each other. They don't have divisions or anything like that.
All right. This one is going to end up being ooh, it's going to be tough. 'Cause I just don't know who plays each other the rest of the way.
All right, so you have Oregon 6-0 in the conference, right?
No, I know. I'm looking at it.
Okay. Well, just click on their schedules.
I know.
USC and Oregon don't play regular season.
Yeah, Oregon plays Utah though. I think
Where's
it's
that
going to
game?
be. I think it's going to be Utah versus USC. I think Utah's going to be Oregon.
So who do you think's going to win it?
I think it's going to be USC.
USC over Utah?
Yep.
I'm going to do USC over Oregon. So we're on the same page with picking USC. Let's move to the Atlantic Coast. So this one does have different divisions.
And that one's going to be easy because both of the teams are undefeated there. This is going to be Clemson versus North Carolina. Clemson's going to win that one.
Think so?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take the Tar Heels.
I
Over
just think
Clemson.
I just think by then it's going to be a different quarterback.
you think the quarterback matters that much?
Yeah, I think it does. I think he's really bad.
Yeah. Well, you got UNC over Clemson. North Carolina plays no defense, so that does scare me. All right, the big bad SEC. Let's see who we got. I think this one's going to be pretty easy as well.
It's going to be LSU
Who you
versus
taking,
Georgia.
Jake? Georgia over who?
LSU.
Taking LSU over Georgia?
Yep, because Mississippi State or Ole Miss is going to lose another game. They got Alabama this week, so that's going to be a loss. And LSU the rest of the way plays Arkansas, UAB, Texas A&M. So that's going to be 3 wins. Alabama's already at 4-2. They can't get the 5. They can't get the 1 loss. So they're gonna be in LSU.
Yeah, but you think LSU?
Yeah, because Georgia's not gonna lose the rest of the year. Georgia plays Mississippi State.
So
Kentucky,
you got Georgia
Georgia
winning
Tech.
SEC.
Yeah, because Georgia, they got Mississippi State, Kentucky, Georgia Tech. They ain't losing.
I get that. I know you're picking them to make the SEC championship. I'm asking if you think they're going to beat LSU
Oh yeah.
in the title game.
Yep.
Okay, the Big Ten. This is where it gets interesting. I'll let you go first.
Well, I think Michigan's gonna win that game, so I got Michigan. Jesus, I don't know who they're gonna play. Let me see. Illinois is.
That's
4-2.
why it's hard. Illinois is 4-2. They play Purdue this weekend. They have to play Michigan still.
Yeah, I think Purdue's gonna. This is gonna be Michigan versus Purdue.
You think Purdue's going to win this weekend then?
Yeah, Purdue's gonna win this weekend against Illinois.
God, this is so hard.
I know.
So you're going to take Michigan over Purdue from the Big Ten?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm taking Michigan over Illinois.
All right, I like it.
So the Big Ten West is so hard to predict who's going to win. Because the top 4 teams or the top 5 teams all still play each other. It's super weird. The only one that has a good schedule is Purdue. If Purdue wins this weekend, they're making the Big Ten championship.
I told you.
Because they played Northwestern and Indiana after that.
No, they're automatically.
All right. Enough of the college football. Let's move on to some NFL. So we got the New York Jets. Are they a good football? Are we going to start calling them a good football team?
Yeah, they're going to have a good year. They're going to have a good year. We don't know what's going to happen for the future, but this year they're going to be good.
So I mean, they beat the frickin' Bills. I mean, they beat some good teams this year.
Yeah.
They beat the Dolphins by 23. They beat the Packers by 17. They beat the Bills. I mean,
That's not a good win.
They beat the Browns. I mean, 6-3. That division, you see that division, the records? The Bills are 6-2. The Jets are 6-3. The Dolphins are 6-3. The Patriots are 5-4. They're all above 500. That's crazy.
This is not good right now, Reggie.
Are you concerned about the Bills, or are you just chalking this up to the Jets are a good football team this year?
I think the Jets are good, and those Bills just didn't play good. You know, they're still an NFL football team. But yeah, I think the Jets are better than what we think.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills are 6-2. They lost by 2 at Miami. They lost by 3 against the Jets, and the Jets and the Dolphins are both 6-3. So they lost to 2 good football teams by less than 3 points. Excuse me. All right. So outside the Jets, because I'm sure we both would agree with that, they are very surprising this year. What other team has surprised you for the better?
Seattle.
That's a great
Seattle.
one. I agree.
Seattle has very Gino's very surprising, playing really good football, and that team just believing. And Pete Carroll's doing really good.
So I think the Seahawks would probably be my number one team as well. I think my second team would be the Vikings. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
The Vikings, just look at the standings. The Vikings, I didn't realize they're 7-1.
Only losses.
The only loss is week 2 at Philly. Can't be mad about that at all. So they're on a 6-game winning streak right now.
Yes, sir.
I mean, they beat the Packers this year. I mean, they beat the Saints, they beat the Bears, the Dolphins, the Cardinals.
There's going to be a lot of teams that
Okay
beat the Packers
teams.
this year.
Yeah, but we'll find out about the Vikings this week. They're at Buffalo, so we're gonna find out a little bit more about the Vikings. And the Bills are coming off a loss, so they're gonna have some anger in them. Yeah, the Vikings got the Bills, Cowboys, Patriots, Jets the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, let's see what they're made of.
We're gonna find out a lot about the Vikings in the next couple of weeks. All right, let's go to the other end of the spectrum. Teams that are disappointing this year. And Jake, you can't say the Packers.
All right. Well, I was going to say 3 of them. I'll just say 2 of them. Raiders, Cardinals.
The Raiders, I understand. The Cardinals. Oh, I didn't realize the Cardinals were 3-6.
Yeah. The Cardinals.
Are they 0-2 since D-Hop got back, or did they win a game?
I'm not 100% sure. I think they're 1-1.
I think they're 1-2. I think they lost. I think they beat the Saints his first game back, and they they lost the next 2.
Yeah, because I think they lost to the
'Cause he-
Falcons.
Because he missed the first 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're 3-6. They played 9 games, so he's been back for 3 games. I think they won the first one and lost the second 2.
Yeah.
So can't even say it's because DeAndre Hopkins was gone, because they're 1-2 with him. So yeah, Cardinals are pretty disappointing.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
I think mine's got to be the Rams. The Rams are very underwhelming this year. Super Bowl champions. Their offense is bad. I don't know if you guys watched that game Sunday, but wasn't pretty. Those are 2 very, very similar teams. Teams that have stars all over the field, both defense and offense, but they're both missing one thing: an offensive line. And this will always prove to you that no matter how good of a team you are, you only go as far as your offensive line goes. And unfortunately, the Rams right now don't have a very good offensive line, so they're not going to win a lot of football games, especially out in the NFC West, especially with the Seahawks being better than we expected. The Niners always beat the Rams, so that's irrelevant.
And they have
Cardinal-
Christian McCaffrey.
Kind of, yeah. And the Cardinals now have Christian McCaffrey, so
The Rams.
the Rams are going to struggle.
The
They're
Rams are
going
going
to
to
make
make
the
the playoffs.
No.
You don't think so? I mean, they're 1 game back of the wild card. I don't know
just
what
don't
their
think
schedule
so.
looks like. They have a relatively easy schedule coming home. They play Cardinals, Saints, Raiders, Packers, Broncos, and the Seahawks twice. So they definitely could make it happen still, but from what I've seen, I don't see anything, honestly. Even if
Well,
they make the playoffs, I don't think they're going to make a run.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, let's predict who we think is going to make the Super Bowl and who will win this year. Has it changed from the last time we talked about it at all with you? I think we all had the Eagles and Bills in the championship of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think it's changed for me on the NFC side.
Who you got?
Vikings.
Think the Vikings are going to make the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Wow. Or against the Bills?
No.
Who you got?
I'm playing the Kansas City Chiefs.
Damn, no respect for the Jets. Who you got winning the Super Bowl as of right now? Super Bowl champion.
Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm about to say there's no way you'll pick the Vikings to win the Super Bowl. I think I kind of agree with you. I think the Chiefs are going to make the Super. I think the Chiefs will make the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to play the Vikings though. I think they're going to play the 49ers.
No.
But the thing is, the 49ers always kind of just plot their way through the regular season, and then once the last couple weeks of the season come and then the playoffs come, they step it up a year. They have Jimmy G at quarterback. He's been in the Super Bowl before. He knows how to win games in the playoffs. They just added Christian McCaffrey. The 49ers are good as fuck. Really good. But I'm gonna say the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. That means the Chiefs probably won't win the Super Bowl, but we will say as of right now, we're both picking the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. And if that happens, Patrick Mahomes is MVP. Straight up, Patty Mahomes MVP. Would you agree?
I agree. Can't agree more, brother.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was our recap show. So moving forward, we're going to try to keep our shows in between 30 and 35 minutes since we'll have so many more episodes now a week. But yeah, so we'll be back tomorrow night. Me and Jace and Jake. I don't know if Jake's going to be here tomorrow night. Are you going to be here for tomorrow's show?
What is it? Tomorrow?
The Ohio State Michigan episode?
Probably not.
Okay, so me and Jace will be here tomorrow for the Ohio State Michigan episode, breaking down both teams, kind of how they have been faring so far this season, kind of talking maybe a little bit of a preview for the game in a couple weeks. I think we're 18 days away. Ohio State Michigan in the shoe. So getting exciting, getting close. Jake, anything you have to say to our fellow listeners before we get out of here?
No, just see a friend, tell a friend.
Yep.
Try and grow this. But other than that, we're going to try and put some more content out for you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy it.
For sure. We will see you guys again tomorrow night. Jake, I'll talk to you again in a couple of days. Have a good week at work. Until later, y'all.